Jilla Congress President, Shillong, Anil Thomas, AICC Coordinator, Roslyn Turkey, former Assam MLA and AICC Coordinator, AICC Observer, as well as two candidates, Manuel Badwal from East Shillong and Bedrin Dakar, as well as Ronnie Lingle, Vice President, and all other office bearers, DCC Presidents Dr. Amalin and other DCC Anthony Ward and other office bearers of the party here. Thank you all, and I hand over the mic to Dr. Pala to start, Principal Pala to start.
Thank you, Anil Thomasi. On behalf of the Meghalaya Pradesh Congress Committee, I will like to welcome Jairam Ramesh ji, who is a colleague in Parliament and a very senior member in the party, and also Jerry Shillong ji, who has been here almost all the elections in Meghalaya. I also would like to welcome Manish Chatterjee, who is in charge for the state of Meghalaya, and Arunachal. Also would like to welcome Advocate Anews Today, who has been here for quite some time, and Roslyn Turkey, who will be helping us in different areas for the election. I also would like to welcome Dr. Celestine Lundorf, who is the chairman of the manifesto committee, who's done a very good job so that we can release it today. I also would like to welcome Sanjay Das ji, a General Secretary MPCC, who have been running here and there for today's program. I would like to welcome all the press and medias and our friends from different rank and file of the parties, the candidates, the district presidents, and the NSUI, the Mahilas, and the Youth Congress. So once again, on behalf of myself and my party, I welcome all of you. I will hand over the mic to Dr. Celestine Lundorf, who is the chairman of the manifesto committee, who will give us a brief how we have carried all those commitments, and at the same time how we have come up to a conclusion. It's not a 1 day or 1 month job, it's a long work, and at the same time hard work, at the same time lots of consultations at the different levels. So I request Dr. Lundorf to give us a brief how he has done for the manifesto so that we can launch it today.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Honorable MP Sri Jairam Ramesh ji, MPCC Chief and Honorable MP Ma Vincent Paula, all the dignitaries on the dais, friends from the media, and all who are associated with this program. We are sitting here because of the culmination of 6 to 7 months of hard work. When we prepare for the election, we have advised all our grassroots workers to go and meet the people, feel the pulse of their needs, especially in the villages and in rural areas. The need of the people are different from different areas. Urban areas, needs are different. Rural areas, the needs are different. So, both urban and rural areas, our workers have interacted with the people. People below the poverty line. Our workers have interacted with college students. Our workers have also interacted with workers who work in different fields. Our workers have also met friends from the media. Our workers have also interacted with people who are domestic workers, so on and so forth. So all the inputs that we get from our grassroots workers have been compiled, and we have named them one by one in our manifesto. So this hard work that has been really done by our workers, I salute all of them. And today is the day that when we go to the election, all the promises that we make here in the manifesto are real promises, doable promises, and promises that can be fulfilled. So I request our Honorable MP, Shri Jairam Rameshji, to unveil the manifesto for the 2023 elections of the Indian National Congress for the state of Meghalaya. We will all rise up on it from the dais. We will clap our hands.
Thank you. Thank you. Great song.
Kongres gede kajeng keneng kacong upan ba Aga syamjong katigen dengit besar Hoi 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 Kongres kalaban lagi kau rapat Nagita kari pagawai pernah Kikau bangsa mati nama dansa Kau kongres kan hau bajin akan warna For commitments na Meghalaya kejadian mengkapot Kongres populer bertutup dengan long gendong ni asal Semua boleh gisyak jikat Habak bila labak pendek yang dijual Ini komitmen mobil kenara Kongres jaga warga Meghalaya
Thank you. This was the theme song for the Congress Party for this election along with the manifesto launch. So that's where it is. Now I request Honorable MP and General Secretary Communications Sri Ramesh sir to speak. Thank you.
Good afternoon, friends. 51 years ago, it was the commitment, the dedication, and the love of India's Prime Minister then, Srimati Indira Gandhi, that led to the emergence, the formation of the full-fledged state of Meghalaya as a state in the Indian Union. Meghalaya means the abode of the clouds. But today, these clouds have taken on a different meaning. Today, the clouds are of not rain-bearing clouds, but these clouds are of corruption, these clouds are of unemployment, power cuts, these clouds are of a damage to the independent identity of the people of Meghalaya. And finally, these are the clouds of political puppetry, which I will explain to you a little later. In the last 5 years, we have had a government of the MDA, by the MDA, for the MDA. This is the Money Development Alliance. The alliance partners have taken a temporary divorce for the purpose of elections and are claiming to be fighting as independent parties. But let nobody be fooled. The NPP, the UDP and the BJP are all part and parcel of the same package. So the first fight that the Congress is fighting in this election is a fight against corruption. The extraordinary coal scam, the continuation of the inhuman practice of riot money. I was the environment minister, and in many ways, I don't like to boast about what I did, but I am father of the NGT. I was the minister who piloted the NGT bill in Parliament and established the National Green Tribunal in April 2010. And it's extraordinary how the orders of the National Green Tribunal have been flouted in pursuit of private gains, private profits, in a most inhuman and degrading manner. Even COVID has not been spared. We have had huge corruption in this state as the COVID pandemic raged. So this election is for ridding Meghalaya of the virus of corruption. Second, I mentioned to you unemployment, power cuts, the extraordinary spread of the use of drugs amongst the youth of the state. Meghalaya is a state blessed with extraordinarily rich natural and human resources. But in the absence of productive jobs, in the absence of infrastructure, particularly power, youth will not be able to find avenues for fulfilling their full potential. So, the second point is that these are elections to fight against the unemployment that we see, the power cuts that have become part of daily life, and the growth of a drug culture. Thirdly, when Indira Gandhi moved the bill in Parliament to establish the independent state of Meghalaya, Meghalaya was given Schedule 6 status in the Indian Constitution. And for 50 years, almost 45 years, the Congress moved heaven and earth to respect the letter and spirit of Schedule 6 of the Constitution. Knowing the special needs of the people of Meghalaya, the tribal nature of Meghalaya, the religious and ethnic diversity of Meghalaya. But that is under threat today. The identity of Meghalaya, the ethnic identity, the religious identity, the social identity, the linguistic identity is all under threat because in the name of unity, the BJP and its allies propagate uniformity. It is only the Congress party that believes not just unity in diversity, but unity through diversity. If you strengthen diversity, you strengthen unity. If you weaken diversity, you weaken unity. The BJP wants uniformity. The Congress wants unity through diversity. And finally, the fourth cloud, political puppets. There is one puppet master. He sits in Delhi. And there are puppets in different states. Here there is one puppet called the NPP. There is another puppet called the UDP. And now there is a new third puppet that has come into Meghalaya politics. JMC, not TMC, JMC. Jonas Mukul Party, JMP. Be under no illusion. These are all part of the BJP's game plan. NPP is BJP's A team here, UDP is BJP's B team here, TMC or JMP is BJP's C team here, and BJP is the D team here. Congress is fighting a three-party or four-party alliance led by the BJP. BJP may not have electoral presence, but it has other presence. And you know what I mean. In spite of demonetization, there is a lot of monetization that takes place, thanks to the BJP. So the Congress party is fighting these clouds, the cloud of corruption, the cloud of unemployment, the cloud of the destruction of Meghalaya's identity, and finally, the cloud of a unholy alliance, BJP, NPP, UDP, TMC, who are all claiming to fight independently now, but mark my words, at the first opportunity, they will jump into bed together. So for the Congress, this is a watershed election. And I will give you only two indicators of what a transformational election this is for the Congress. Never before in any state of India, and I venture to say this because I am familiar with national politics, 47 out of 60 candidates are below the age of 45. It's never happened before in any state. It's happened in Meghalaya. 47 out of 60 candidates are below the age of 45. This is bringing youth to the fore. One advantage of the Judasas leaving our party is that they create vacancies. And we have youngsters for the first time. And secondly, 10 out of 60 are women. No other political party in Meghalaya has given women such a heavy representation. This is a matriarchal society. This is a society in which women play a very important social and economic role and a cultural role. That is not reflected in its politics. But we are making a beginning. 10 out of 60, that is almost 17% of our candidates are women. No other political party can claim this. So it is a watershed election for the Congress party. Of course, we recognize that there are many people who have betrayed the Congress. Of course, we recognize social and economic good riddance. Their commitment to the values of the Congress and its ideology obviously is not very strong. Obviously, ED, CBI, income tax has come knocking on their doors. The in this election is, will Meghalaya's identity survive the way it has survived for so long? That is the key issue. Meghalaya is part of the Indian Union, is part of the Indian mainstream. Youth of Meghalaya are earning a name for themselves all over the country. But there is a unique and distinctive identity to the society of Meghalaya that only the Congress can protect. On the one side, you have a set of parties who will dictate what the identity of Meghalaya is from Nagpur or from Delhi. Or you will have another political party which will dictate what is good from Meghalaya from Kolkata. It is only the Congress party which will dictate from Shillong, from Meghalaya. Not only dictate, it will determine in this state. Now, we have released a manifesto. This manifesto has 14 big promises to be fulfilled over the next 5 years. Every year, we will present a report to the people of Meghalaya, giving a report card on the status of implementation of each of the promises that we have made. We have made 5 big commitments that come out of these promises, which was released day before yesterday. The first commitment being empowering women, 3,000 rupees per month to every single mother, BPL single mothers, and there are 41% of women in Meghalaya are single women. Mean women who are separated or living singly. 41%. It's a large, very large number. Second, we have promised a job to every household. Third, we have promised a power cut free Meghalaya. I mentioned that to you. Fourth, corruption free Meghalaya. Most important, we will have a law against corruption. We will implement this law. We will have an ombudsman. We will have strong anti-corruption machinery. And whatever the orders passed by legal authorities, like the National Green Tribunal, will be implemented fully. And fifth, we have promised a drug-free Meghalaya. These 5 promises come out of these 14 promises contained in our manifesto. As I said, manifesto is a very sacred document to us. We will have an annual report to the people on the implementation of this manifesto, and we will hold ourselves accountable to the people of Meghalaya for this manifesto. Finally, let me say a few words about the Bharat Jodo Yatra, which, as you know, started on the 7th of September and ended on the 30th of January. It was a 4,000-kilometer long yatra from Kanyakumari in the south, deep south, and ended in Srinagar in Jammu and Kashmir. It was a south to north yatra. And it was a yatra to unite Indians. In this atmosphere, where Indians are being divided on the basis of religion, caste, language, ethnicity, food, dress. So this yatra was a yatra to bring people together. It was a voice against economic inequality. It was a voice against social polarization, and it is a voice against political dictatorship. We today have an undeclared emergency in our country. One man determines who will speak, what will be spoken, what will be done, what is good, what is not good. This is completely against what our Constitution teaches. Our Bharat Jodo Yatra is a celebration of India's diversity. Because as I said, only if we celebrate our diversity will we strengthen our unity. So this Bharat Jodo Yatra was a very successful yatra. We are now thinking of a west to east yatra, the details of which are still being worked out. This was a south to north yatra. A similar west to east yatra is being contemplated. Because we believe that India's greatest threat today comes from the policies of the Prime Minister, from the BJP, of the RSS, which divides Indian society, which does not unite Indian society. So I congratulate my colleagues in the Meghalaya Congress, and we are approaching these elections with new energy, with new enthusiasm, and I believe that the people of Meghalaya will see a new spirit of the Congress and will vote on the 27th of this month for change, a vote against the clouds of corruption, a vote against the cloud of unemployment, a vote against the forces who want to deny Meghalaya's 6th schedule in letter and spirit, and a vote against political parties which will be controlled ultimately by one national party called the BJP, which is detrimental to the interests of societies like Meghalaya. Thank you. I'll take any questions you have later.
Now I request the press to have the questions, if any.
Thank you.
We will go one by one, and the first one was raised from. There are mics on the table. There are mics on the table, please.
I have all the time in the world. Let's go with that.
You may ask him.
I have one question. Is the mic on? Yes. On 3rd July 2019, the Supreme Court has lifted the ban on coal mining in Meghalaya. But there was a little effort on the part of the government to ensure scientific coal mining, started in Meghalaya. So the Congress, how will it ensure that scientific mining in Meghalaya starts and the livelihood of the people depending on coal mining restored?
Madam, mining is an economic activity which creates employment. Let's accept this reality. But mining has to be done in an environmentally responsible manner. Mining has to be done in a humanitarian manner. And mining has to be done according to the laws of the land. I have been Environment Minister, and before that, as Commerce Minister, I have spent considerable amounts of time in Doki and all these places where coal mining takes place. I have seen initially the way coal mining was done. Later on, how it degenerated into that coal mining. I can assure you that the Congress Party will follow the laws which are there for environmentally responsible and humanitarian mining. A blanket ban on mining creates adverse consequences for employment. I, both as Environment Minister and as Minister for Power and Commerce and other ministers, I have always held this view that we must, whatever we do, whether it's mining, whether it is building, whether it is highways, whether it's roads, whether it's any infrastructure, we need infrastructure, we need jobs, but it cannot be at the cost of the environment. Meghalaya is an environmentally fragile area. We have to be extra careful in places like, you have seen what happened in Joshimath, in Uttarakhand. So we have to be extra careful in these states, hilly states particularly. And I can assure you that the Congress party will accord the highest priority to environmentally sound, environmentally sustainable economic development, which includes mining and other infrastructure projects.
Well, political pundits suggest that no single party is getting majority in this election. If this is the case, what will be the mind of Congress? Will it be open for alliance with any political party in the state?
Madam, we are fighting these elections to win on our own strength. We are fighting for major parties who claim to be independent, but as I said, they have taken a temporary divorce. They will get together at the first opportunity. We are fighting to win on our own strength. I do not even contemplate what is going to happen when the results come out. We are confident that the people of Meghalaya will give a mandate to the Congress party. It's a tried and trusted party. It's an experienced party. It's a party that respects the sentiments of the people of Meghalaya. And it's a party for which decisions will not be taken in Kolkata or New Delhi or Nagpur, but decisions will be taken in Shillong by leaders of Meghalaya, in consultation, of course, with other people, because the Congress is also a national party. So I'm not even thinking of what is going to happen. We are fighting to win on our own strength. And I believe that the fact that 47 out of 60 candidates are below the age of 45, I believe that the fact that 10 out of 60 candidates are women, large number of our candidates are professionals, I think this will give confidence to the people of Meghalaya that this Congress means business. And this is not Judas's may come and Judas's may go, but the Congress will remain strong. Many people have written the obituary of the Congress in the last couple of weeks. It's become a favorite pastime, writing the obituary of the Congress. But the Congress has a remarkable capacity for surprising all obituary writers now.
There are a lot of free things offered. There are a lot of free things offered in your manifesto. I am loud enough. Yeah. So there are a lot of free things offered in the manifesto, and Congress is also cashed out. So how do you get the money to implement all this?
The financial commitments made in our manifesto, these commitments have been made keeping in mind the financial requirements for these promises to be implemented. It is true that states like Meghalaya depend quite heavily on central assistance for their development expenditure. It's certainly true. But I think, frankly, that a situation has come when, if you're a responsible and responsive political party, you would have to take the steps that have been identified in our manifesto, particularly as far as relief for single women is concerned, particularly as relief for households who do not have a single job earner is concerned. These are, I agree with you, these are financially, they will require a lot of financial commitments. But these are commitments that we will fulfill. These are not paper commitments. These are commitments that we have fulfilled. Let me tell you, in 2004, when the UPA government came, the Congress-led UPA government came, one of the big commitments we had made in our 2004 manifesto was the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. And the same question was asked, how will you implement the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act? Well, it was implemented. We found the resources. And Mr. Modi, who opposed that act, has now become the greatest champion of this act. In 2009, we promised National Food Security Act. Same question was raised. Where is the money for National Food Security Act? But we found the money for the National Food Security Act. Again, Mr. Modi opposed the National Food Security Act, but now he has become its greatest supporter. So, the question that you are raising is serious, it is legitimate. But I believe that if the government is serious, we can find the resources to fulfill these financial requirements. Incidentally, this manifesto is not for 1 month, it's not for 1 year. It's a 5-year manifesto. These 14 promises are to be implemented over a 5-year period. We are seeking a mandate for 5 years, and I am confident that we will be able to get these resources, and I am also confident that we will ultimately, a central government, any government, whichever the government is, we hope that there will be a double-engine government in 2024, Congress government here and a Congress-led government in Delhi, and that will be a truly double-engine government. But even assume that next year, for 1 year, we'll have to deal with a BJP government in the center. I'm sure if the people of Meghalaya are demanding these promises, no government can afford to be insensitive to these demands.
Sir, for long the Congress have been in power. For long the Congress have been in power, and during elections you have been releasing manifesto from year to year during the elections, but the Congress has failed to deliver it. What is your take on it? Most of the issues.
Congress has been in power, yes, over the last 51 years that Meghalaya has had a full-fledged statehood. Congress has been in power for much of the time, no doubt about it. But I would turn the question around and tell you that if you compare where Meghalaya was 51 years ago, and you see today's Meghalaya, you see the connectivity in Meghalaya, the infrastructure in Meghalaya, the institutions that have come up in Meghalaya. I mean, I have been personally associated with a number of institutions that have come up in Meghalaya. NIGIMS is a good example. The IIM is another example. These are all come in after 2014. These were all established much before 2014. So the Congress has made many commitments which it has fulfilled. There are much more to be done. No doubt, much more to be done. There are new challenges, particularly the challenge of environment. Let me give you another example. When I was Commerce Minister, I spent 5 days in Meghalaya for giving new status to the curcumin content of turmeric. This is the unique product of Meghalaya, the curcumin content of turmeric. I don't have to tell you. But others in India had to be educated that haldi coming from Meghalaya has got special value. And from 2000, I came here in 2006 as Commerce Minister, and we started a program for cultivation of haldi in the West Jhatia Hills. And now this has become a very major economic activity in Meghalaya. Now this is not after 2014. This started much before 2014. So, it's easy to say the Congress has not done this, Congress has not done that, because the Congress has been in power for the maximum amount of time. But please also look at the glass which has been filled. Look at the institutions that have been created. Look at the infrastructure that has been built. And most importantly, I would request you, most important contribution of the Congress to Meghalaya is to preserve and protect the identity of Meghalaya. That is the single most important contribution of the Congress Party. Schedule 6 of the Constitution. It is very easy to say Meghalaya should be part of the Indian mainstream without recognizing the ethnic, religious, linguistic, cultural diversity of Meghalaya. It is only the Congress Party that has protected that identity, and that is under threat today.
I have a question.
Let's go through one round.
I have a question in the back.
Let's go through one round and come back to you.
Mr.
I don't follow one journalist, one question model, not one nation, one tax.
Would you agree?
Just a minute. We have on most of the regional parties here in Meghalaya and even the local parties. They are supporting BJP-led alliances with the belief that it's very difficult for the Congress to form the government at the center. So what's your take on that? And this is the reason they are supporting BJP-led alliances.
I can only tell you that in 2004, nobody gave the Congress a chance, and we formed the government. In 2009, nobody gave us a chance. We came back with an increased majority. So, people are entitled to their opinions. And I also told you that, when people leave you after getting the full benefits of being in the Congress party. And after Mr. Ghulam Nabi Azad, I think the one person who has benefited most from the Congress party is Mr. Mughal Farhan. Now, if people who have benefited from the Congress party decide to give it a kick in pursuit of their personal ambitions, I can't help it. It's their choice that they have made. But I can tell you that repeatedly the Congress party has been written off, and repeatedly the Congress party has bounced back. So I am confident that we are going to these elections with a new spirit. The Bharat Jodo Yatra has created a completely different narrative of the Congress all over India. And I can tell you, not in Meghalaya, but in other states, I can tell you political parties who would not talk to me in Parliament today are coming to asking me, when can they come and meet me to discuss Indian politics, not 2024, but discuss political development. So yes, the BJP is spending a lot of money. The BJP also has more than money. The most powerful instruments in the hands of the BJP, the Trishul of the BJP, ED, CBI, income tax. These three instruments they have, which they use. The Congress never used against its political opponents. Never. But the BJP will not hesitate for 1 minute to use these three instruments. So naturally, all these small political parties are vulnerable, and they, go and join. They are saying that. But let's see. We are hoping that the people of Meghalaya will give these Judas's the answer that they deserve.
This Abhijit. As you are talking about Bharat Jodo Yatra, and this elections in 3 states comes just after that, do you think that the mandate which will be given by the voters will be a true reflection of Bharat Jodo Yatra's success?
Bharat Jodo Yatra had nothing to do with the elections. Nothing whatsoever to do with the elections. It just so happens that these 3 state elections are coming now. I did not believe that the Bharat Jodo Yatra was responsible for our victory in Himachal Pradesh. Much less do I believe that the Bharat Jodo Yatra was responsible for our very disappointing performance in Gujarat. Because from day one, we have been saying that the Bharat Jodo Yatra is an ideological yatra. It's not an electoral yatra. It's a political yatra, but not related to elections. That is why we started the Haath Se Haath Jodo campaign after the Bharat Jodo Yatra. So the Bharat Jodo Yatra was to deal with the ideology of the Congress, to deal and combat with the ideology of the BJP and the RSS, the 3 ideologies that we are opposing: economic inequality, social polarization, and political dictatorship. So, if we do well, I am not going to take any credit for the Bharat Jodo Yatra, let me assure you. If we do badly, I am sure all of you will say Bharat Jodo Yatra ka kya fayda hai, isse koi fayda nahi hua. That will also be a wrong view. The Bharat Jodo Yatra is, the results have to be seen over a 5-year, 10-year perspective. This is a long-term ideological battle. That's why we are doing the Bharat Jodo Yatra.
Sir,
it's not an event. The Bharat Jodo Yatra is not an event. It is a movement. And those who have not had a chance, then I'll come back to the second chance. Yes, ma'am.
In your manifesto, in your manifesto, you have mentioned about solution of finding an amicable solution of this border issue. So right now, 12 out of 12, 6 areas of differences are sorted out by the government. So will you revoke this boundary agreement signed with Assam?
Is it?
You see, whether it's 12 or 22, whatever you say, different areas, the boundary dispute this government has not solved it, rather they made it more complicated. So when we do when we try to solve the border, we have to discuss with people at the ground. Actually, in Meghalaya, because of the land tenure system is totally different, the culture is totally different from Assam. So we should discuss with the same, with the district council, with the villages, with all these stakeholders. It is not that a chief minister of one state sits in a five-star hotel and another chief minister and say that we solved the problem. After they have signed the agreement, how many people have been killed? How many problems are still on? So they have not been able to solve the problem. But you see during the Congress, we always try to see that people on both the borders works together, respects each other. Assam is a state which covers almost 3/4 of Meghalaya. So we cannot afford to fight in such a way where we have to be bloodshed all the time. We have to, that's why we said we need amicable solutions where we can push for a boundary commission. And if the commission is there, then every stakeholders in the border will get an opportunity to examine, will get an opportunity to represent their views, ideas, history, geographically, and that should be a solution. It's not sitting only for 3-4 months, listening to the politicians in the border and solve the problem. Problem has not been solved, and if we come to power, we will have a proper solution. Thank you.
The BJP has appealed to the people of Meghalaya to vote for the double-engine government. So do you think that Meghalaya really needs a double-engine government?
BJP will always, telling lie to the people of Meghalaya. If you see in the last election, the manifesto, they said that coal will be opened in 180 days. Now, more than 5 years, has not been there. BJP now is threatening the people of Meghalaya. If you don't vote for BJP, then you will not get money. If you don't vote for BJP, then you cannot form the government. This is a democracy. The BJP cannot run, whether it's double engine, single engine, and 10 engines. It's the people of Meghalaya who run Meghalaya, it's the leaders of Meghalaya who run Meghalaya. So the BJP, I doubt BJP will get even two members in the last time they got only 2 because those run from the Congress. Though the question of double engine or single engine doesn't arise in Meghalaya. It's the people of Meghalaya to decide, it's not the BJP to decide.
The BJP says to the states, have a double engine government in the state. A double engine government in Guwahati, double engine government in Shillong, double engine government in Anews. While it itself has a double engine government in Delhi. So, you know what I mean? So
yes, gentlemen, the question.
And that double engine government is under grave threat of being derailed. Because one of the engines is under attack, one of the engines has been found to be a fraudulent engine, and this whole Modi-Adani affair will bring out the truth of how Mr. Adani has benefited from the Modi regime, how all airports have been privatized in favor of Mr. Adani, how all ports have been privatized in favor of Mr. Adani, how railways, power distribution, power generation, gas distribution, take whichever economic activity, Mr. Adani is the prime beneficiary. And the Prime Minister does not even mention in his Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha addresses this severe crisis that we are going through because of the manipulation of this one engine which is driving the central government.
Sir, you mentioned that you will manage the fund for some of the promises that are there in the manifesto. I'm talking particularly about the single mother scheme. It's one thing to manage the fund, then there's another thing is where is the country headed to, The Supreme Court has observed that these treaties will lead to economic disaster, and it is a distortion of the informed decision of the voters. Many TNC and all, they have promised heaven and earth on this one. Don't you think Congress, being the oldest party, could have done something better?
I think it's a very important question. When we did a survey, we found that our society is deteriorating because of the family problems in our society. The only way we have to bring back our society is to help the mothers. We have calculated it will cost us not more than 200 crores in a year. I can tell you from the economic point of view, as of today, only the limestone which Meghalaya is producing 50,000 tons every day. If you collect the revenue, it will cost us almost 365 crores in a day. but the real collection is not even 80 crores in a day. So there's a leakage of revenue of almost 250 crores in a year, not in a day, in a year. Almost 250 crores leakage of revenue in a year, and only from cement factory from limestone. So with that money is enough for us to serve the purpose for the single mother. And number two, for electricity, as of today, in many of the areas, the efficiency is only 70 to 80%. 30% to 20% leakage. To help in electricity, if we can serve that, we can increase the efficiency from 80% to 95%, which is doable. All over the world, the efficiency is 97, 98%. Why not in Meghalaya? People of Meghalaya are good, cooperative, and people of Meghalaya, they don't like stealing. So only way is that the government has to stop the stealing, and people, we have to educate the people. So the electricity which we have as of now, 180 crores unit in every year. If we do with that 36 crores unit we can save. With that money we can still give for electricity. That's why we have done enough homework for all this. I agree with you, it's it's challenging, but it's doable, and I think we can do it more than enough.
One more question to...
One minute. This lady asked a question on gradual mining on coal. I was Power Minister in 2008 and I came to Meghalaya, and we were then looking at the uranium deposits in Meghalaya for feeding our nuclear program. In 2009 I became Environment Minister and I came back to Meghalaya because I had a completely different perspective from large number of civil society organizations in Meghalaya that uranium mining, they are opposed to uranium mining. And I remember, if my memory serves me right, Don Cooper Roy was the Chief Minister. I talked to the Chief Minister and I said, look, these are legitimate concerns. We have to address these concerns. It's one thing to say that we must have uranium mining. Of course, you must have uranium mining because your nuclear plants need uranium. But if people are worried, if people have concerns that this is having adverse health impacts, public health impacts, then I'm afraid as Environment Minister I cannot be party with this. So in fact in 2010, as Environment Minister, I took steps to ensure that uranium mining in Meghalaya was not open until today. That remains the case. Almost 13 years have passed by. Day before yesterday, Jitendra Singh, the minister in charge, said in Parliament that we have rich uranium deposits in Meghalaya and we want to develop those rich uranium deposits. I kept quiet. But the fact of the matter is, this is the difference between the BJP and the Congress. That one looks upon these deposits as something to be grabbed, as something to be developed for private profit, whereas the Congress party is always always sensitive to the environmental consequences of what happens, whether it's limestone, whether it's uranium, whether it's coal. These are natural resources, but environment is equally important for the health and livelihoods of people, particularly in states like Meghalaya.
One question. You are the worst affected in terms of desertion of MLAs. Don't you think this present anti-defection law should be thrown to the dustbin and a new law should be put in place?
Desertion of MLAs creates numerous opportunities for other young men and women to come into politics and build their careers. So, for every one deserter, for every one Judas, we have 10 Pauls and 10 Matthews and 10 Anthonys.
What about the anti-defection law?
Sorry?
Anti-defection law.
No, we can discuss this later. It's a complex. The anti-defection law is a complex set of circumstances. But my personal view is that if somebody, first of all, once you've joined a party, you're wedded to the party's ideology, you're wedded to the party's values, to its way of thinking. I find it very difficult to reconcile myself to people who enjoy the benefits of being in a political party and then decide one day that they no longer believe in those parties' ideologies. No law can address these issues.
Well, I have a
question.
In this line of it seems that earlier Himanta Biswa Sharma than Dr. Mukul Sangma was not happy with AICC leadership. What is wrong with AICC leadership that the leaders like Himanta Biswa Sharma and Mukul Sangma switched over to other political parties.
Mr. Himanta Biswa Sharma was given respectability by Hitesh Sankhya first. Then he was given respectability, even greater respectability by Tarun Gogoi next. Mr. Himanta Biswa Sharma and others, Ghulam Nabi Azad, Mukul Sarma, they are all beneficiaries of this new washing machine in the market. You know, there used to be LG washing machine, higher washing machine, Samsung or Videocon washing machine. Now there is the best-selling washing machine is the BJP washing machine. So, you know, anybody who's got some vulnerability to ED, CBI, income tax, gets into this washing machine and they come out clean, they come out efficient, no inquiries are done against them. So, you know, you find a lot of people, you know, Bhubaneswar Kalita, another example, Mr. Singh, another example. These are all people who have, you know, I can only note it down here, so I'm not pronouncing it properly. Where's the word here? Huh? You know, in, I don't have that word. I noted down this word, you know, in any other part. In Calcutta, I would have called Mir Jafar. But in Shillong, the word that I have to use is no shed killer. Did I pronounce it rightly?
The last question, and then the leaders will be here for the lunch also. So the last question coming from right.
Sir, you said one of your most important contribution to preserve the identity of Meghalaya. So my question is, right from 2010, there's a demand for inclusion of the Khasi language in the 8th schedule. When the Congress was in power, both in center and the state, why was the Congress silent on it?
Yeah, you are right. We have been trying right from not even 2010, I think right from 2009. After I became an MP, we worked very hard, but to include any language in the 8th schedule, lots of criteria are required. So it looks a lot of census, a lot of collection on the ground. So these has been done before, and we need to help the recommendations of the states because we cannot just include a language. So I think the work has been done by the Khasi Association, by the government of Meghalaya. I think on the inclusion of the Khasi language or Garo language in the 8th schedule, all of us in the same page, be it any other parties. A resolution has been passed in the floor of the House in Legislative Assembly when the Congress was in power. Same was limited by there. So I hope very soon that once the government will have taken all those criteria into consideration, I think we should have no problem on it.
But it does not mention anything in your manifesto.
Yeah, whatever the issues which we don't mention in manifesto which lie with the subject of the central government. So I think we should not unnecessarily put more pages by give promises which what we've done it before. We have committed before. So I think that's why we thought that all these we have done it before, we have committed, we have done it before, whatever possible from our side. So the commitment which we made should be only on the state subject, and in the central subject, all those which we have done, we'll stand with it and then we'll always fight. Thank you.
Thank you.
And let me just address this issue. I'm personally, speaking personally, I'm 100% in favor of including languages Khasi, Garo. In fact, I myself have been fighting for Bhojpuri, the whole language, the tribal language, Adivasi language, which happened. But unfortunately, there's an elaborate process, elaborate consultative process, and the requirements are very, very complex and complicated. And you know, it's taken years for languages to be included in the 8th schedule. There is a demand for Bhojpuri. At some point of time, I remember I was told by the Home Ministry when I was pleading for the whole language that there are something like 150 demands for inclusion of languages into the 8th schedule. But the important point that you have raised, why is it not there in the manifesto? This manifesto has commitments which the state government of Meghalaya will do. The reason why it does not find a place in the manifesto is because that is a decision that the central government has to do. Of course, the state government will move heaven and earth, but this manifesto deals with decisions to be taken by a Congress government in Shillong when it gets the trust and confidence and the mandate of the country.
Mr. Ramesh.
Thank you. Last question, and then after this, the leaders will be here for the lunch also, and we will play the official song with a small performance. Yes, please, the last question.
This DBT of 3,000 to single mothers, do you think this might also encourage more broken families?
I do think, and I think we also, while discussing, we thought that every 2 years we'll do a impact assessment. Suppose we give it first year, second year. Normally for the first year, you need to do a lot of research, you need to do survey, you need to update all the data. So then we'll do an impact assessment. We'll do an impact assessment and we'll do lots of homework, how it affects us. But I think economically, if the women is strong, the community, especially the Khasis and Jantias and Karo community will be strong. This money is not given to the women alone, the children. We have seen personally on the ground how the children they stop studying because they don't have anything, and some of them they stop going to hospital, how this suffers because they don't have anything. That's why we made this commitment. Our commitment is to unite, not to break. Our commitment is to build the society, not to destroy the society. Thank you.
Frankly, I was quite, it was a revelation to me that 41% is the figure for single mother households in that's quite an astonishingly large figure. So beginning has to be made somewhere for providing social security. I think this is the minimum level of social security that can be provided to facilitate education of children.
Thank you very much. I request the dais to be here in that itself, and then request the performers to come, and then we are playing our official theme song for this election. Thank you. Please be seated, please be seated. And the leaders will be here for the lunch following this, and you can have the questions and interactions with the leaders here. All journalists are requested to be to remain seated and join us for the lunch. Yeah, please.
Kongresa ay kacingkermenta trong upad ba Ang siyang jong kagtingin penek nitpensa Hoy, 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 hoy Hoy, 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 hoy Hoy Kongresa laban lagi kang raka Nabinta kari katlaway kang pernay Ikapang sapat tirang badang sa Ang kongres kang hangba jing akan wanwa Federal Let's Kapor dengan Meghalaya ke depan kapor Kongres kagular Bandung duor Dekatang Kewangi hasar Salam Kisah tingkong Abang Jalanan Bindang
Thank you all, and thank you all the dignitaries.